Welcome to Money Muscle Mindset, the podcast designed to motivate and educate you on your journey to financial and fitness success and to develop the mentality needed to achieve your goals. I'm Zay Molina, your host, guys, and I'm excited to bring you the first episode of this podcast. And today we're going to be talking about SMART goals, how to set SMART goals. Now, when I say SMART, I don't necessarily mean smart versus dumb, right? I'm not talking about anything like that. SMART is actually an acronym that's going to help us set goals that are really achievable, something that we want to go after, that we have a burning desire for, that we're going to be able to achieve and we're going to be able to commit to, right? And that's the idea behind setting a SMART goal versus just a vague goal, right? We don't want to set a vague goal because typically when people set those very vague goals, they don't actually, follow through. They don't go after them. And by setting a SMART goal, you're very specific. You understand exactly what you want. You know that, you have the motivation to go after those, and it helps you, really dive deeper and wanted to achieve that goal more than just setting that vague goal. So let's dive a little bit deeper now into the concept of setting a SMART goal. Okay, so what does SMART actually stand for? Well, as I mentioned, it's an acronym. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Okay, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into exactly what those mean, guys. But the idea, as I mentioned, is it's being very specific, very precise about exactly what you want, which is going to help you achieve that goal, right? If you set a very vague goal, like I want to make more money, or I want to lose weight, I want to get fit, right? If you set any of those type of vague goals, they don't seem like you're committed to it. It's just kind of like a thought that would be nice, right? It'd be nice to make more money. It'd be nice to lose weight, right? That's the kind of idea when you set a vague goal. But do you sound motivated when you say stuff like that, right? Because if you go and, you want to make more money, well, if I give you $1 extra every single month on top of your paycheck, technically you made more money, right? Or if you go to the gym and you lose 1 pound, after, X amount of months, technically you lost weight, right? And that's kind of, hitting that goal. But I think we all agree that when we say we want to make more money, we want to lose weight, we want to lose a little bit more than that, right? We want to have a little bit more of a vision of exactly what we want. And it's typically more than just $1 more or just losing 1 pound, right? So instead of setting those vague goals, you really want to dive deeper into those SMART goals. Be very specific about what you want, right? It's kind of like building a house, right? You say, I'm going to build a house. Okay, great. What does that mean? That could mean a giant mansion. That could mean a little 3-bedroom, two bathroom house. That could mean a 5-bedroom, 10-bathroom house, right? That could mean a birdhouse. That could mean a dog house, right? It's very, vague and you don't know exactly what you want. Now, obviously, I'm thinking if you say I want to build a house, you're probably not talking about a birdhouse or a dog house, right? If you're talking about living it for yourself, right? And so when it comes to that, guys, you want to be very specific, right? When you build a house, you're going to need some blueprints. You're going to need a vision of exactly what you want. I want a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. I want these type of flooring. I want this type of doors. I want this type of roof, right? I want solar panels. I want, hardwood in the living room, right? Whatever it may be, guys, you guys understand that you want to be very specific. You want to have the measurements down. You want to create that blueprint because once you have a blueprint, now you can take the action to build that house, right? And that's the same thing with our lives, guys. We want to set SMART goals to where we have a blueprint of exactly what we want. And now we can develop a plan to go after those goals. Okay. So by setting SMART goals, guys, it actually helps motivate you to create that actionable plan, right? There was actually a study done in 1990 by Dr. Locke and Dr. Latham where they did a goal setting theory. And essentially, guys, what these guys did is they took a group of people, Group A and Group B. They took Group A into a room and they pretty much said, hey, guys, we want you to create this. We want you, to go after, this is your objective. You're supposed to create this, do this. Now go do it, right? And these guys were so motivated because they knew exactly what they needed to do. They were able to go and create a plan to be able to achieve that goal. And most of them got it done, okay? Group B, on the other hand, what they told them was, hey, guys, come in here and do your best, right? Essentially, you want you to create something very vague and go for it. Right. And these people did not create nearly as much as what they did in Group A. Right. They just simply did not have the motivation to go after it because the goal was so vague. Right. So by simply testing these two groups of people, guys, they came up and it became very clear that having a very challenging yet achievable goal motivates you to go after that goal versus just something that's very vague. Right. And again, I think we all can experience that through our daily lives. When we say stuff like, oh, it'd be nice to do this. It'd be nice to do that. Right. That right there is simply a vague goal, right? We're not motivated. We're not committed to achieving that, right? That's something that's just, oh yeah, like we said, it'd be nice to have, right? But if we're not committed, we're not, motivated to go after that, right? It's most likely not going to happen, right? It's not going to get done, right? So that's the kind of idea behind setting a SMART goal and why it's so beneficial. Okay. So with that being said, guys, let's now dive a little bit deeper into the acronym, talk about each part of SMART. Okay. So First part, as I mentioned, the S stands for specific, guys. And this is very simple. All we want to do is make sure we know exactly what we want. Our goal should be very specific, very clear on exactly what you want, right? So when we dive deeper into this, you really want to answer the questions of what do you want? When do you want it? Why do you want it? And, essentially kind of diving into those deeper questions of, what is it exactly that I want, right? What is the desire that I have here that, that I want to see with myself, with my career, with my fitness goals, whatever it may be, right? Whatever it is that you want, be very specific, right? So let's think about it this way. You say, I want to make more money, right? You don't want to just make an extra dollar. You don't want to make extra 50 cents, right? You obviously want to make a certain amount to achieve whatever it is that you want. You ought to ask yourself, how much do I want and why do I want it? Right? Let's say, for example, you're not making a whole lot, with your current job and you're not making enough to pay the bills, right? Well, why do you want to make more money? You want to make more money to be able to pay your bills. You maybe want to make more money to be able to travel the world. You maybe want to be able to make more money to start saving for your kids' college fund, right? These deeper meanings are going to help you create that specific goal. So now let's say you're only making, I don't know, let's say $3,000 a month, but you need to be making at least $5,000 a month to start achieving those things. There you go. Now you have a more specific amount. I want to be making $5,000 a month, by doing this, right? By, instead of just having my normal job, maybe I start a side hustle. Maybe I get involved in trading or network marketing or crypto, whatever it may be, guys. These are the kind of things that you really want to dive into, because now once you know the specific amount, you're starting to able to say, okay, now that I know that, how can I achieve that? What do I need to do to be able to, achieve that specific goal, right? And that's where we can start diving a little bit deeper into creating an actionable plan to create, to achieve our goals, right? So let's go into like a fitness goal, right? I want to lose weight. Well, how much weight do you want to lose? Well, I'm 250 pounds. I'm a little overweight. I want to get back to under 200, right? So now okay, I want to lose 50 pounds, right? Very specific. I want to be, have a 6-pack abs, or, I want to have, 20-inch biceps, whatever it may be, right? You guys understand that you want to be very specific. And now you can start creating that plan where, hey, I want to lose, let's just say 10 pounds within a month, right? And I want to, have this kind of diet. I want to be exercising 5 times a week, right? And all this kind of stuff allows you to start creating that plan to achieve that, specific goal, right? And so that's the idea. Know exactly what you want. Be very clear, be very specific, okay? The M, the second part of our SMART goals, is measurable, okay? And this one's pretty much self-explanatory. You want to have a goal that you can actually track your progress, right? And so when it comes to money or it comes to fitness, right, like losing weight, that's, very simple to be able to track, right? When it comes to money, you want to check your bank account every single week, every single month, right? Make sure you're able to see that you're making more money than you used to, right? Check your bank statements, check your paychecks, check your side hustle income, right? You're able to track that progress, add it up and see, am I making more money than I was? Am I on the right track? Or does something need to change? Okay. Fitness goal, right? You want to lose weight. Well, obviously you're able to hop on a scale, maybe a body composition analysis. If you have access to that, where you're able to scan for not only weight, but also, body fat, muscle mass, body fat percentage, water intake, all that kind of stuff, right? So if you're able to have those tools at your, discretion, you're able to use them and be able to track your progress, right? Maybe not weigh yourself every single day, but maybe, weighing yourself once a month, maybe twice a month, right? And kind of see, am I on the right track? Am I losing weight? Am I going towards that goal, right? And again, if you don't set that specific goal, you don't know exactly, am I on, the right track to what I want? Because you may lose 1 pound, you may lose 5 pounds, right? But obviously, if you have a specific goal, you now know that you're on track towards that goal of exactly what you want, right? So you're being very specific, and now we're able to measure that with tools to help us make sure we're on the right track. Okay, so that's specific, that's measurable. The A in SMART, guys, is achievable or attainable. Okay, now what does this one mean? Well, essentially, guys, you want to be realistic about your goals. Now, when I say that, guys, I'm not saying don't dream big, nothing like that, right? Obviously, I believe everything is possible. Everything is, achievable in this life, guys. Anything can happen at any time, right? However, when it comes to achievable, you want to set a goal that is in your control, right? So what do I mean by that? Well, let's say, for example, you want to become a millionaire. That's great. That's a great goal. But you've never made more than $5,000 a month. Okay. But you want to become a millionaire. Okay. If you say, I want to be a millionaire by tomorrow, how realistic is that? How achievable is that? Okay. I'm not saying nothing can happen, right? You may be able to win the lottery tomorrow. You may, find a huge investor that's willing to give you all this money for whatever you want to do in life, right? That's very possible. Okay. But if you're just sitting back on your couch and say, I'm gonna be a millionaire by tomorrow, and you're not taking any action, that is very unrealistic, right? That's not reliable, type of goal, and it may not happen, right? That's just kind of what we're looking at, okay? But if you say, I want to be a millionaire at some point in my lifetime, maybe I'm going to give it 3, 5, 10 years, that is a more realistic goal. And now what you can actually do is you can break down that goal into even smaller goals and be able to start planning towards achieving smaller goals to work up to that larger goal, right? And that kind of helps you, break it down and understand that you're creating something that's achievable, right? Because if you say, I want to be a millionaire by tomorrow and it doesn't happen, you may get discouraged, right? And you may, not necessarily want to keep trying, right? And that's kind of the idea is if you set something that's just really unexpected, right? Something that's not really realistic, it may discourage you and you may not want to go after any other goal after all, right? So that's kind of the idea. We want to create something that's achievable, that's in our control, right? So for example, again, if you're making only $5,000 a month, right, and you want to get up to $10,000 a month, well, now okay, there's something that I can do. It may not happen overnight, right? It may not happen in the next week or next month or even maybe the next year, but I know I can start taking actions to get this within 2, 3, 5 years, right? And so what I'm trying to say is now that you say, okay, I'm making this much from my, normal job. Okay, what side hustle can I do to make more money, right? Can I go out and create a brand new business? Can I go out and get involved in network marketing or start investing in crypto or whatever it is that you want to do? You're able to now start taking the action that's in your control to achieve that goal, right? Same thing with, losing weight. If you want to lose weight, you know that you can go to the gym, start eating healthier. You have something that's achievable, right? But again, if you're overweight and you're trying to lose 200 pounds overnight, not really realistic. But if your goal is to get to that point over time, it now becomes more realistic. You're able to set those smaller achievable goals in the middle and work your way up to that larger goal, right? And that's the idea when it comes to achievable goals. We want to set something that is essentially realistic for us to achieve, okay? So that's achievable. Let's now talk about the R. And by doing my research on SMART goals, some people decided to say that R actually stood for realistic, but achievable and realistic to me is one and the same, right? So the R, by looking from other people as well, is kind of stands for relevant. Now, what do I mean by relevant? Well, we want our goals to be relevant to our larger desires, okay? We want our goals to line up with our broader objectives of exactly what we want in life, okay? So the way I also put about this is, if you guys have ever read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, phenomenal book. If you haven't read it, definitely recommend it. He talks about that your goal, you want to build a burning desire for that goal, okay? And what does that mean? Simply means you'll stop at nothing to achieve that goal. I would say, just from my personal experience, that would be something that is very relevant, to a person, is if you have a burning desire to achieve it, it's very relevant to your long-term objectives, right? To your overall, your overall desires in life, right? You're able to have something that it, means something to you. Okay. For example, like for me, I'm trying to create this podcast. I want to help people grow in their finances, on their fitness journey, and in their mindset. So creating this podcast definitely aligns with my, long-term objectives. By doing this and the other stuff that I'm doing, I'm living, a great life to be able to create this kind of stuff, right? These are my goals that align with my broader objectives. But if I said I want to go back to college and get my biology degree, just for me, for example, that doesn't align with my broader objectives. I'm not going to necessarily do anything with that degree. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to have that degree, but just for me personally, guys, it doesn't align with exactly what I want, right? I love to travel. I love to, go on vacation and stuff like that, but I'm not a big, person that goes on boats. So for me, a goal shouldn't be to go and buy a boat, right? And these are just very, vague examples, guys, but you guys get the idea that that's kind of the ideas that we want to have. We don't want to create, have a goal that's just going to be something that's not very meaningful to us. If we don't have a burning desire for it, we shouldn't waste our energy on it. We should find something that we want to achieve that's going to align with our broader objectives. Okay. So that's the R. Okay. And then T, guys, last but not least, is time bound. Okay. You want to set a deadline for your goals. Okay. Now, this one I've always I want to say struggled with, but it's something that I kind of thought wasn't super important, right? When I first started, kind of setting goals and diving deeper into my personal development journey, I always kind of felt like setting a timeline could potentially set you up for failure and set you up for disappointment. Because if you don't hit that deadline, it could mean that you could get discouraged and be like, oh, well, I'm not able to hit it. And it kind of sets you back, right? But looking at it from a different perspective, setting a deadline isn't so much that you have to get it done before that point. What it does is it gives you the motivation. It gives you that drive to say, hey, if I say I have to get this done by then, it gives me like, hey, I got to pick it up because I know that date is coming up, and it makes you start working a little bit harder. So even if you don't achieve it by that date, but you achieve it a few days after, that's okay, right? And that's kind of the open-mindedness that we need to have, that we're setting a deadline where, hey, I want to, create this, by, let's just say December 31st, right? And I want to create this. I want to be able to, launch this or whatever it may be by that date. Well, if I get to a point, but I don't launch it till 2 days later, at least I know that, hey, I was close enough to where I worked on this for how long. And, yes, I missed my deadline, but I was actually able to motivate myself to get there as close as possible. And look at that. It only took 2 more days for me to get this right. Right. And that's kind of the idea. So setting a timeline is not so much about hitting that deadline exactly, but it's about creating that sense of urgency, right? Getting you to go out and, set that timeline so you know that, hey, I got to pick it up. I got to get going to achieve that goal, right? It's just kind of like if you ever been at work, right? And you're about to go on vacation, but you have the last week before you go on vacation. That last week, you got to get some stuff done, and you can't do it because it's due, let's just say next week when you're going to be gone. You have to get it done by Friday, right? So by getting it done by Friday, right, you have that sense of urgency that, hey, I can't slack off. I got to get this done because I'm going on vacation next week. This is due next week. I'm not going to be here. So I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to try to get done by Friday, right? And that's the kind of idea. It builds that sense of urgency, that motivation to get it done in a timely manner. Okay. So again, just setting deadlines to your goals allows you to have that, again, motivation and sense of urgency. Okay. So that is what we have with SMART, guys: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. And by using these goals, guys, there's actually been studies, as I mentioned one already, that lead to, setting SMART goals allows you to become more motivated to achieve your goals, right? And the biggest thing I would say that comes from SMART goals is it actually helps you develop the actionable steps that you need to achieve those goals, right? So as I mentioned, right, if you're trying to lose weight, well, you know exactly how much I want to lose, okay? I want to lose 50 pounds total. Let's say within the next 6 months, I want to lose 50 pounds. I want to be, this percent body fat. I want to be very specific with my goal. Okay. Again, within 6 months, there's your time. Okay. How is it achievable? Well, I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week. I'm going to, start, tracking my progress. I'm going to be able to measure myself every 2 weeks, kind of see where I'm at, see what I need to change. And, I understand that by doing this, it's going to allow me to be more healthy to where I can then play with my kids and my grandkids for a long period of time. Right. Everything in that goal, guys, is a SMART goal, right? We have the specific of exactly how much you want to lose. It's measurable because you're able to weigh yourself every single week. It's achievable because you understand you're giving yourself a broad amount of time, right? You're not just saying, I want to lose 50 pounds overnight, right? You're giving yourself, 6 months to be able to achieve that goal, which is doable, right? Can be tough. Maybe you give yourself a year or even 2 years, right? But you understand that that's kind of where we're at. You set a timeline, okay? And it's relevant because by losing weight, you're able to be healthier and be able to achieve something that you want to do. You want to spend more time with family. You want to play with your kids, your grandkids, your dogs, whatever it may be. You're able to then have that more burning desire because that's something that's important to you, right? So by setting goals like that, it allows you to start being more motivated, having that burning desire to achieve success, right? And that's kind of the idea behind setting a SMART goal versus that vague goal, okay? And so, you got to think about it this way. A SMART goal is kind of like a GPS, right? If you get in your car and you just start driving, you're on these roads, you're making lefts and rights, but you don't know exactly where you're going, you're kind of just wasting gas, right? You're kind of just driving around and, there's nothing wrong with a drive every once in a while, but you guys get the idea is that if I'm trying to drive and I want to go somewhere, right, I need to first figure out where am I going, right? Let's say I need to go to the grocery store, right? Well, if I don't put in the GPS, hey, I need to go to the grocery store, then I'm not going to necessarily get there in a timely manner. And it's not going to be something that it may happen, right? If I just keep making rights and lefts and eventually I may get there, but if I don't know where I'm going, it's smart to have a GPS and know exactly where I'm going, finding the best route, avoiding the construction routes, right? Going after, following the path, making sure I'm going on the best path possible and, getting there in a timely manner. And I'm motivated to get there because now I know the route, right? And so by doing so, guys, just like, setting your goals, you now have a GPS to have exactly what you want in life, right? And so that's kind of the idea by setting SMART goals, okay? So with that being said, guys, once again, SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Okay. The last thing I want to talk about, guys, is as I mentioned, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, phenomenal book. Okay. I actually have it right here with me. Okay. This book here, guys, he actually talks about in one of his chapters on desire. Okay. Napoleon Hill actually goes into the 6 steps to achieve, he talks about riches. Obviously, it's Think and Grow Rich. Okay. But I want you guys to hear the 6 steps that he talks about. Okay. So first, fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire. Okay, that's the first part. Now, again, if you're not talking about money, let's say we're talking about fitness, you want to lose weight. Talk about, fix in your mind the exact amount of weight you want to lose. Okay. How much pounds do you want to weigh? How much body fat percent do you want to be? All that kind of stuff. Okay. Second step is determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the money, right? Know exactly what you want to give up, what you're going to do for, to be able to earn extra income or to be able to lose that weight. Okay. Step number 3 is establish a definite date that you intend to possess the money or, achieve your goal. Okay. Step 4, create a definite plan for carrying out your desire. Okay. Know exactly how you're going to achieve this. Okay. 5th is write out a clear and concise statement, understanding, writing out a SMART goal, right? Writing down goals, guys, is super important because you're able to see it every single day. And with step 6 right here, you're able to read that written goal every single day, twice a day, right? That's kind of the 6th step that Napoleon Hill talks about. Okay. So again, one more time to summarize: 1, fix in your mind the exact goal that you want. Okay. Number 2, determine exactly what you're going to do, what you intend to give up to achieve that goal. Okay. Number 3, establish a definite date. Okay. Number 4, create a definite plan of exactly what you're going to do to achieve that goal. Number 5 is write it out. And number 6 is read it every single day. Okay. Now, if you guys take a look at that, what does that look like, right? All these 6 steps essentially go with a SMART goal, right? Number 1, the first step is fixing your mind the exact amount. That's being specific. Okay. Number 2 is determine what you intend to give up. Okay. That is measurable and achievable because now you're able to see that, hey, I'm going to be doing this every single day. I'm going to be doing this to be able to achieve my goal, my fitness goal, my income goal, whatever it may be. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a side hustle. I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week, right? Whatever it may be, you're able to now plan something out that makes it achievable, but you're also able to measure that. You're able to kind of see, what progress am I making by tracking that every single day. Okay. Number 3 is establish a date. That's your time. Okay. Number 4 is, again, create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once, right? Again, that's achievable. It's understanding that we're going after that. Okay. Number 5 is writing it out. And number 6 is read your written statement. So now you have that vision that kind of goes back to specific. And all of this becomes relevant because, again, it goes back to that definition of all this is having that burning desire. Okay. If you have a burning desire for it, you're going to be motivated to go after it and you're going to have that sense of urgency to achieve your goal. Okay. So guys, using SMART goals will help you achieve success. Again, be more motivated and have that burning desire to achieve that goal rather than just setting a vague goal. Okay. So guys, with that being said, that is the end of our episode here today. Again, by setting those SMART goals, it'll really help you guys achieve those goals for the long run. Okay. So once again, guys, I challenge you guys to go out and, set some SMART goals and start working to achieve those, guys. And with that, thank you guys for watching the first episode of Money Muscle Mindset. And I want to leave you guys with a quick reminder: success isn't just about the money you make or the muscles you build. It's also about the mindset you develop along the way. So once again, guys, thank you guys, and I'll see you on the next episode of Money Muscle Mindset.